Welcome to LaChance Encounters. I'm your host, Alex LaChance. I am here today with my good friend, Anthony Scanio, real estate agent. We met, we were working together at the same brokerage a while back. We've since ended up in different locations, but remained friends. But we're not here to talk about real estate really today. It'll probably come up because that's what we do. It happens. I mean, even a lot of the podcasts that I do with people outside the industry, it always comes up. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, this, and they'll bring it up. So it comes up no matter what. You know how it's why it's such a hard and easy sales job because it's always coming up all the time. But anyway, we are here today to talk specifically, and you came to me asking if you could do it, and I was thrilled because it's it's a weird thing to approach somebody else about doing. You've just lost nearly 200 pounds.
Yep.
It's how many?
It's just a little over 190 officially.
That's a whole human being that you have lost. Yep. And then when I say it's weird to approach, it's like you don't want to go to somebody like, man, you were a real fat fuck. How'd you fix it? Like, that's not the way I want to approach anybody ever. But you coming to me and asking, and being a fat fuck, I'm allowed to. I'm allowed. I've earned my fat fuck stripes.
We're captains of the Fat Fuck Club, my friend. We can say what we need to say.
I've had several people DM me about my gut on these podcasts because they're concerned. So we're ready to go.
Fuck 'em.
Well, that was on my list of things to bring it up, and since I already did, let's go. I mean, you were bigger than me for sure.
Oh yeah.
If I lost 200 pounds, I'm gone. But I still need to. You're also you're taller. You're a bigger framed person as well.
Correct.
You're just overall bigger as well. But one of the things that always drives me nuts is all the unsolicited advice you get from people when you're heavy.
My God.
Especially once they know you want to change. What's the craziest shit anybody's ever come up to and said to you when they just approach you out of the blue? What kind of crazy fucking shit do you think people say?
Well,
or have you had people say?
I mean, I can, before I even started on the journey that I went on, I just, you have friends, family, people that obviously care about you that, hey, what are you, how's your health? How, they do little things, and, they come from a place of care.
Yeah.
They want to help, and that's just human nature. I think people care. If they care about you, they want to help and help any way they can. But I think with many things, it really has to come down to the individual being ready to actually do the work and go through it. That's really for me, the way that I describe it and tell people was this, and I'm sure you can relate, Alex, is the pain of staying where I was more unbearable than going and embarking on what I have done.
Yeah.
So the pain just became too much, and I was like, all right, it is time.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that it's an addiction, not in a way that a drug is an addiction where it's a specific thing you're hooked on, but you're hooked on this lifestyle, right? And when people do that and they come to you and they're concerned about your health, they think you can just change.
Yeah.
They think it's just you just go, hey, don't do that.
Stop eating, fatty.
Put down the
fork down, fat fuck. Yeah, shit like that.
And they think that you can but it's not like that.
It's not.
It's the same way an alcoholic depends on alcohol is we depend on not doing anything and eating. That has happened to me so many times where I think that's my comfort. That's my peace. My solitude is to sit on the couch and eat an entire bag of chips and an entire jar of dip.
Yep.
The same way somebody would stick a needle in their arm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I think people forget that when they approach somebody that's never been overweight, just looks at it, it's like, oh, it's easy. It's just do what I do, So what that's a great, the pain of being, I just hit that too. And it's happened to me twice. So one time I've lost 100 pounds twice in my life. Yeah. So I have lost 200 pounds.
There you go. Good for you.
No, but I've also gained it back, lost it, gained it back, and I've had lost 40, I've lost 20, gained 40, lost 60, gained 20. I've done this more times than I can count.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know what it's going to take for me to make it a permanent change. Do you feel like you found that? Do you feel permanent in this?
I do.
Yeah.
This time I do, Alex, and I completely relate to there were times in my life too, I would probably say from, 2014 through 2020, so a good chunk of time where, I'd lose 100 pounds, do like, a keto diet, do great for 4 or 5 months, drop a lot of weight, but it just wasn't sustainable. I think for me, what's different this time is, I finally started addressing other areas of my life that I had been avoiding. And that, big component was, mental health. I don't think a lot of people who, have their opinions about overweight people really take into consideration, what's gone on in their life, what traumas have they gone through? What are they, what have they gone through? What are they currently going through? So when I see like social media influencers that are out there, and I know they're doing it for clickbait for the most part, but when you see, the people that comment, the keyboard warriors, the whole, just put the fork down, things like that. It's like, you really have no idea what this person is actually going through. And you don't know. I mean, there are things that I've struggled with in silence. Until, my journey as a whole started in 2023. The weight loss segment of it kicked off in December of 24 around my 38th birthday. So, my journey as a whole has really kind of played into all of it. And I had to go back in time and face some things, with a therapist. I'm not ashamed to say that. I thought a lot of my traumas from my past were related to the years I was a paramedic, and that's definitely part of it. But, there are some other things, the memories that come up from, even earlier, that, oh, wow, well, that's why I have this behavior. That's why I act like this. So really I've literally had to rip myself apart from head to toe. I've had to face and look at the man in the mirror and acknowledge and take accountability for everything. Like that's kind of where it all started for me. And, the whole, again, December of, 2024, finally hit the breaking point of the pain being, it was, all right, like I'm ready now. We gotta start doing this, but we gotta do it. I do it for me, because you gotta do it for you. You have to want that. But also, I got a son. I want to set a good example. I want to be around for him for as long as possible. So, but for me, it just, yeah.
Has this been, already, what a benefit has this been to your family? Do you feel that already?
Oh my gosh. I mean, just night and day. I mean, I have so much more energy. I'm so much more active. I'm just generally happier. Like, I look at myself when I was, where I was at. I mean, you're one of my Facebook friends. You can see some photos over the last few years, and there's some photos of me smiling, but I don't see the happiness. I see the pain, the hurt, just different things that I was suffering with in silence.
We've had good amount of lunches together.
Oh yeah,
and I could feel it when every time you had to say no booth.
Oh yeah,
when you had, and I've talked to other people about this.
Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, and it's like, and I know, I could see it. I could see it every time.
It's fucking embarrassing.
And it is. Unfortunately, it you shouldn't have to feel embarrassed by that. It's You know, it is what it is. You're suffering those consequences. It's nobody else's problem. But I know how that feels. I know just the other day, I was in my wife's business. Now I tried to change, she bought like some programmable thermostats.
Okay.
And I tried to change them and I broke the fucking thing. And I was kind of like, well, you know, I'm not an electrician. I'm not an HVAC guy. I gave up working with tools like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like trying
Stay in your lane.
try not to blame myself for that. And then she has this bench and I sat down in the middle of the bench and it broke in half. And it's like, and I look back, we were in Costa Rica and this is a decade ago. And I sat down on one of those PVC patio chairs, and it just blew up. I mean, it just shattered. It was quite comical the way it just exploded, and I just hit. But then it's like you feel ashamed.
Big time.
You're like you should be. That chair was made for a human being,
right?
And I'm some sort of monster now.
Right. I mean, going to people's family members' home, friends, family members, going out to restaurants, going anywhere. It was all right, where am I going to be able to have a place to sit?
You couldn't have sat on that couch.
No, I wouldn't. Are you kidding me? Even three, I probably would have been fine this summer when I hit the 110 pound mark. But I still wouldn't have because I would have no way. But no, I can comfortably do that now. And it's just
Have you flown since?
Oh yeah. So I have. I've had a couple of trips. Couple of trips that I did, short trips, 1-2 days down to Florida. Just kind of like reset, get the mind going, just all that stuff.
Did you use an extender?
Oh yeah. No, I did. I did just need an extender, but in July when I hit about that 110 pound mark, I remember walking up to the plane, and I looked at the steward. I looked at the stewardess and
flight attendant.
Sorry, I should say the flight attendant. And I said, you know what, Anthony, go just sit and try. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah, you're back
I would
to
have
where
just
you
defaulted and just the head down, the head of shame. Like, can I get the belt? And when I sat down, I remember I was probably sitting for 2 or 3 minutes. I was letting people like walk by me. I was frightened because, people do look. Is it going to click? Is it going to click?
Yeah.
And, but it is what it is. And I remember, making sure it was all the way out.
That's right. Every time I pull it all the way.
And I just remember the reaching over and click. Now I couldn't pull it more than a half an inch, but I didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was so happy.
Yeah.
I actually remember I started tearing up, and there was I was in the always an aisle seat. The gentleman sitting to my right had watched it, and he was someone that was in shape. And I just remember I started getting teary eyed. I remember just looking up. I just was smiling, and he gave me my 2 minutes of peace. And he just nudged my arm, and I just said, oh, hi. And he just said, proud of you, pal. I know what you've gone through.
That's neat.
And it was just amazing. And I was just so happy, Al. Like I really was. And I actually, on that trip down, I remember going out to lunch, and, even at that point, I was still asking for a table. I knew I was losing weight. My clothes were smaller, but I've
never not been able to fit in the booth, but they're snug.
Sometimes they're snug and
I
uncomfortable.
I like the ones that aren't bolted. I can push to my wife and daughter's side when we're out.
Afraid of those ones, this is going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, or you get up and your gut picks it up.
Yep.
There's nothing worse than when you sit down at the booth and it's,
hey, listen, you skinny fuck.
Yeah. I feel this. I'm not built. You guys are talking about being big framed. I have a small frame. I'm supposed to be like 160 pounds. But yeah, have you when you sit down and it is bolted and you're like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to sit here.
Yeah.
You're like, now I gotta ask
Well,
for them to move
fast
me.
food restaurants are typically bolted, so that you know not to go to those.
Yeah. That's why they have the drive-through, so we can sit in our cars and not be
Yeah,
shamed.
and not have to use the
Walk.
calories walking.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
Let's cut for a second.
Yeah.
What just happened?
You turned on the fourth mic, and there's nothing there, so it's mixed static.
Okay.
Fucking, what do I pay you for? It's supposed to be my audio engineer, and I have to teach you how to use the equipment.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's and, you know, all these things. It's like, and it was funny. You talked about snot's coming out of my nose. Good.
There you go.
Speaking of embarrassing,
Save it for later. Snack for later.
But you talk about the negative. Can you hand me one of those paper towels? But you talk about the negative comments under, you know, on social media or whatever, and it's like, you know, some people are just hurtful,
Yeah.
and it's like, honestly, I say it all the time, and this is an old Gary V thing.
Yep.
But like where, you know, thank you, where it's under the other side.
That's what you paid me for, motherfucker.
to take my boogers. Where the fuck was I going? You've ruined everything, Nick. No, the old Gary V thing. He talks about how anybody that's going to say something negative on a post on social, they're hurting
Gary
too. They're in pain.
They're coming from a place of hurt.
Yeah, so it's like,
Give them
don't
grace.
take it with a grain of salt and feel bad for that person too. That all they have in their life is trying to tear you down. But it's still, it still can hurt because it's, you know, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of what you're going through. And it's like with a drug addiction, at least that drug addiction's numbing the pain for you.
Yeah,
the food is like,
Just-
you feel good for a second, you know, and that's why, and again, I'll just keep doing it. That's why buffets are so good, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Just went to one in, we were just in the Bahamas.
Okay.
Fucking this pile of shrimp cocktail was like the size of that couch.
Oh.
And I must have ate, and I mean, that's not the worst thing to eat. Like a whole shrimp ring. I just figured this out. One of those small shrimp rings is only at like 120 calories or something.
Yeah, right. Bring them over.
That's a good snack.
Yeah.
But it's like I ate 100. I must ate 100
Oh, yeah.
fucking
Yeah, you don't realize.
shrimp. And it's like, and you just keep going back and going back and going back because you're only happy temporarily. You're happy for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with alcohol, I'd be happy till I passed out.
Yeah.
You
True.
know?
Very true.
Are you not drinking either?
Yeah, no. So I outside of one sip that I had when I was down in Florida over the summer when I had that milestone, there was a couple of people up at the bar that
Like a
came over. They're
celebratory
like, "Well, yeah,
toast.
you're sitting by yourself. Join us." All right, why not? And the bartender brought out like well, they had ordered a drink for me. I didn't. I wasn't gonna say like they were being nice. So I took a sip, but other than that, I really haven't drank since probably the end of March of 2022, and that was just for personal reasons.
So what I stopped drinking October 2023 now. No, 2024. It was a year this past October. But what happened, and I started eating more because around that time I stopped drinking. I was also doing healthy things, but when I stopped drinking, I didn't realize I was addicted to alcohol. I
Right.
didn't realize I actually had a problem. I just stopped to stop. I stopped to take a break.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I actually did have a problem. It's still a year and a half-ish later. I'll still be at a bar, like for whatever reason. Like I ate by myself at the Hanover Street Shop House.
There's
People
nothing
think
wrong with
eating
that.
by yourself is sad. No, it's not.
Nope.
You're eating an $80 steak. It's fantastic.
Take yourself out on more dates.
But
you should. Everyone should.
Also, a steak is a healthy cheat meal.
Yes,
it
it
it's
is.
like it's a large steak, but it's still just it's protein.
A lot of protein.
It's a pile of protein.
Yep.
And they put potatoes on my plate. I only took a couple bites. I pushed them aside. But I'm a hero. Okay,
Yes, you
I'm
are a hero. You're the hero that.
But sitting at the
that our
bar,
world
I'm
deserves.
looking at all the bottle. Ooh, that Glenlivet 14. That's love to have some of that. You
was
know,
so big.
and it's like, so what happened to me was I had said, all right, give yourself a full year to just not drink. Don't worry about anything else. Well, in that year, I gained like 50 pounds, and it's like it occurred to me. I'm like, oh, food's your replacement. Now I've always
Yeah,
had
you're
the problem,
substituting.
but it's my replacement addiction. Did you struggle with that at all when you it sounds like you stopped drinking before you made this big shift?
So like, I mean, even when I made the decision to stop drinking, I made the decision. My wife was entering her third trimester, with our son, and I just for personal reasons, I just kind of had this moment, and I wasn't really drinking all that often too. If I did, it was if I was out somewhere.
I never remembered you being a heavy drinker, even like when we were
in my heyday, in my college, my early 20s, I absolutely
kid shit.
I could pound a beer and whatever. But yeah, the typical early 20s stuff. But yeah, no, I never, I'd have one or two, but it was never a weekly, daily thing. It just, but no, when my wife, is entering her third trimester, I just, addiction, alcohol, and, drugs runs in my family. It's just, it's in my blood. And I, had this kind of aha moment where, the same blood that pumps through me is pumping through my son. And as you know, addiction doesn't discriminate. Doesn't matter what socioeconomic class you are, what your race is, what your creed, what your whatever. It doesn't discriminate.
I mean, all the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's across the board.
Anybody.
You talk about depression, and it's like rich people kill themselves.
Yeah.
Robin Williams killed himself. It's Kurt Cobain. People on top of the world.
Yeah.
Well,
I think having all that money.
Courtney probably did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. But I think people think that having money and having all this money really doesn't buy you. I don't think it buys you the happiness. I mean, it makes living life affordable and other things, but
it takes one stressor away.
It takes one, but
that's it. It's obviously not being able to meet your basic needs is traumatic, but it's like once you're past your basic needs are met in a comfortable, sustainable way. Yeah. More money doesn't really, it's not going to make any that much happier.
No, it doesn't. It can only complicate things, I think, and you get people who.
No, I'm grateful to have done as well as I have, and
of course
been able to take some vacations, but I've also had horrible meltdowns and been depressed and suicidal on vacation. So, I
get that.
Yeah.
So
it's a stressful thing to travel, and you put so much stock into it. Like, I worked so hard for this. This is going to be the special thing. This is going to be perfect. It's going to be amazing every step of the way. And then when it's not, disappointment comes.
Actually, you just saying what you said. I thank you for obviously, sharing that and, being vulnerable with everyone here in the audience. I wanted to, can I piggyback on that?
Yeah.
So, right after my birthday is December 7th. So in 2024, I had,
D-Day?
D-Day. Oh, yeah. Yes. Larry Bird's birthday, too. Uh-huh. So share that with him as well. I had a trip planned a few days after my birthday just to kind of, go down and reset. Wife was very supportive. Like, I was just in a funk. I had just had my last closing, around Thanksgiving. And just where I was mentally and everything, I was just struggling on all levels, and I just needed a little reset. And I remember, dropping my son off at his daycare, the morning. I think I went down on a December 10th or 11th, but I went away for a couple of days. But I remember dropping my son off at his daycare that morning, and then after I saying goodbye to him, and I remember just this feeling that I had in the car ride to Logan Airport. Not many people know, but I can share it now with everyone because if anybody's suffering in silence, hopefully that they can have the courage to, know that they're not alone. But I remember having this feeling that I was boarding a plane and I wasn't going to be coming back. Didn't have any plans. It was just this. It was just heavy, and it was very heavy. And I remember getting off the plane and checking in a hotel and ended up going to a coffee shop near the beach. Walked, you know, it was a hard walk because I was so fat. But I remember just going to a coffee shop, and I just remember sitting outside looking at the beach just by myself, you know, minding my own business. And just somebody, a complete stranger, just sat down next to me. And I was like, didn't say anything for maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 minutes. And, you know, me not being from around the area, I remember saying to this person, am I in your spot? I can go sit at one of the other. And, you know, they said to me, no, you just looked like you needed someone to sit with. And I remember it just, something went off inside me. And next thing you know, we were just having a conversation about every little thing under the sun. And, you know, next thing you know, a couple hours passes, and, you know, the person ended up having to leave and, you know, go about their day. And I mean, they spent more time than, you know, I probably felt like I deserved, but they gave me the time. And it, that single act of kindness, reminded me of all the good that is in this world and what's worth living. And that's when I remember saying enough. And I remember the rest of that trip. I canceled my fishing plans. And any other plans I had, I sat in my hotel room, and I went to that coffee shop for breakfast, lunch, while they were open. And I just started writing what I needed to do. I was ready. So,
Yeah, I think the big thing and thank you for doing that on camera. I know that's hard, and I've been, you know, I've not quite been that vulnerable, but I have been exposing a lot of my life, and I know how hard it is to do that. So I appreciate that. Yeah. The big thing I take away there was when you said all the good in the world. And I think in this, and this is a subject I touch on, people that listen regularly are probably sick of this, but the world is full of good. No matter, we're just getting bombarded with the worst of it all the time. Where the negativity sells. It gets our attention. Attention makes money, and it's just this repeat cycle. And it has been
Social
our whole life.
Exacerbates
and
it.
But it's, I mean, you and I are only a few years apart.
Yeah.
We grew up in this, like, we were the like, I remember having a TV with like 12 channels or something.
Yeah.
For like,
knobs, no remotes. I remember all that too.
For like a few years.
Yeah.
And then things just
boom,
exploded, even before the internet.
Yep.
And it was always negativity. It was, you know, the Gulf War. It was Clinton getting his dick sucked. It was.
That's a positive.
It was
gangster in the Oval Office.
I mean, I don't have no problem with that, but it was. I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But it was like, the way it was reported was this, like, ooh, like, you know, lying president. It was a
right.
lying president. The lies weren't good, but like, you know, but it was, you know, then gangster rap, and it's like, and then you started getting, you know, we're destroying the Earth Day, all these, some of these things that are supposed to be positive. Like, we just got hit with so much. Everything is fucked up, and we need to fix it.
Yeah.
That I think we forgot to remember that we're not, like, we are okay. Me personally am good. I think we carry the shame of the earth, with shame of the planet with us. A lot of us. And it was like, you know, I think we all need to step back. And I have the reason you can't see it in any of these cameras, but that recliner, I bought that specifically to sit, meditate, clear my head. I have in the side pocket. There's a journal. It's a gratitude journal. It has prompts. It asks me, what's 3 things you're grateful for? And I try my damnedest to sit there every day and write 3 things I'm grateful for.
That's awesome.
And this is, again, people are going to hate hearing this again, but have you ever read The Miracle Morning? It's pushing real estate training. A lot of real estate trainers push it, but The Miracle Morning, they wrote one specific. They've written them specific for all kinds of different professions, like rewritten it in different ways. There's a specific one for real estate agents.
Okay,
it's from you've 7 levels of communication.
Yep, 7 levels.
They use those same characters in the real estate version of. Okay. But anyways, it's savers, silence. That's a meditation, affirmations, and I also in that journal there's also a spot for I am committed to. Affirmations, visualization. I have a vision board over there. Corniest thing you ever saw in your life. There's a picture of a chiseled chest guy with my face taped to it. Visualization.
You see it. You envision it.
E is exercise. R, reading. S, scribing. And the scribing is where it's writing, but I do my gratitude. Write out my gratitude.
That's awesome.
And I've fallen on and off that wagon, but when I am consistently doing those steps every single day, and you know what? I had you and I was out late last night. Nick and I did a comedy open mic last night.
Sweet.
And I didn't get up as early as I'd like to, and I didn't and I felt off today because I've been doing it for the last week again. I got focused on it again, and I'm off today because I didn't do it. I'm going to do it later once you guys are all gone.
Sure.
I'm going to just fucking do it.
Get back into it.
Because so many times, and here's, this all ties back in now. So many times you fall off of something and you go, that's the end.
Yeah.
How many times did you do that before you got fully committed where it's like, well, I was doing good, but I went through the Wendy's drive-through, so I might as well eat pizza tomorrow, and I might as well have donuts the next day.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, you're back to your same habits. Yeah. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to it's okay to fuck up once. It doesn't define you. And, I think we grew up with so much negative reinforcement too. And not just us. I mean, that's generational forever. Actually, our parents. It was worse for our parents. I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like you would hear you're lazy or you're messy or you're disorganized.
If you don't do this, you're that.
Yeah, exactly.
It means you're this.
Yeah, if you don't go. Yeah, I mean, there was the old thing of like we say it now. It's like if you see guys working construction on the side of the road, don't tell your kids, oh, you better go to college or you're going to be working construction. Like it's some negative ass thing. Nowadays, for sure. Most people that go to college don't even use their degree. Just end up in giant debt. But, it's the negative reinforcement. We need to tell ourselves good things.
Yeah.
One thing so I did the year without drinking, and I smoked weed every day now.
Okay.
And it's like, what's the difference? There is a difference, but it's like at the end of the day, okay, I'm just lying to myself that that's okay.
Right.
So I've committed after, I think the last time I smoked was a couple days before Christmas. I didn't just arbitrarily stopped. Like I meant it to be like, okay, I'm done in 2026, but then I just kind of ran out and didn't get more. So, but I've been writing, one of my affirmations I've been writing out has been, I don't smoke weed. I don't do it. Like it's the positive affirmation of this is the behavior, whether I really know it's behind me or not. It's like, I'm going to write it. Like I don't do this. I don't. And it's like, not like I want to, not I'm going to stop. It's, I don't.
I don't do this.
A lot of all of this, and that's, I one of the other one I'm writing out, I don't eat junk food. I don't eat junk food. I don't, and it's, and some you can break it down even smaller. It's like, I realized it's like, okay, why don't I say just don't do drive-thrus? Just start with that. Like, I just don't go to a drive-thru ever.
Don't go to a drive-thru, or if you do, you walk inside.
Well, it's
you
like,
want to do the walk.
At the end of the day, if I'm going to go into if I'm going to do that arduous walk across the parking lot, I might as well.
I really want that McChicken.
I might as well go get a salad. Go somewhere that makes a salad or something. If I'm gonna get out of the car, I might as well go get something better. Yeah. McDonald's used to have the fucking salad shakers. They just want to. McDonald's just wants us to be fat. They want us to be hooked on their shit.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy. The big clown.
Yeah.
Is
Uncle Ronnie.
Those
Were you
salads
chopping
had like 26 grams of sugar in them.
what was the sugar in the dressing? You mean?
No clue. I think they just added sugar to them.
There's sugar lettuce. It's my
But yeah, I remember that if you looked at like the fact sheets about them, they were like 26 grams of sugar in them, and
Just
it was
pump
not.
that liquid sugar on top of the bread. It's like you see at the baristas
just right. They
do.
just go over to the coffee station and pump the
One-
liquid sugar in.
One thing I'm curious about with you is like obviously there's a lot of hurdles other than just mental, right? About losing weight, and like I think it's something a lot of people don't think about. When you lose 200 pounds, you like need a whole new wardrobe. You need like need like a whole new situation. Like you probably don't go out to lunch with Alex maybe because you guys are used to
We
eating.
need to.
You guys are
That
used
changes.
to eating giant things
Bro.
together. You know what I mean? Or like
That on the books.
like you probably avoid certain places. You do.
Did you keep a pair of your Jared from Subway pants?
Got rid of them.
Every
wardrobe.
I need the
change.
iconic picture.
Well, I mean, I guess I could
enough
go,
room to put the little boy in.
Yeah,
You know?
I guess I could go to the big and tall shop that I used to go to in Nashua. DXL.
Just try one out. Yeah,
what's
just
really
get a-
great is I these jeans, all these I brought at the Merrimack outlets. The last couple of wardrobe stuff I've been able to go to like an actual store. I don't have to order them online. Or go to the fat guy store, and it's just that in itself is like a
The last time I thought I had flipped the switch, and I did drop like 40 pounds at the time, was we were at is it the Burlington Mall where the Cheesecake Factory is?
could be.
We went.
Burlington,
My
Burlington
wife
down
really
in
likes the
Mass,
Cheesecake Factory. 'Cause
Yeah, my hometown.
she's a basic white bitch, you know. But
WB.
no, I mean it's a huge menu.
Yep.
There's 37 kinds of cheesecake. I mean, it really is fat guy heaven. But it's like, oh, I can't. I gotta have something from the entree menu and the sandwich menu.
Have you seen the guy who's eating everything from Cheesecake Factory? The video.
Yes, I have.
God bless him.
But anyway, we went to Cheesecake Factory, and then the girls wanted to go shopping. And I said, well, I'll look around for some shirts for myself. I went to 9 different stores, including what was supposed to be the big and tall store, and I couldn't find anything for myself. And that was like
Eye-opening.
I was so sad, but it was like I said, the no, I had to, after the no drinking thing, I let myself go again. I should have just drank the whiskey to my skinniest and then stopped.
Get yourself the head start.
Yeah.
Huh? Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad you didn't.
How was it? You had high, I imagine you had high blood pressure.
Yeah, so ironically, I was never on any blood pressure meds or
Wow.
cholesterol. I mean, there were times where I was like borderline, but no, I was never there. I mean, I was getting there.
Yeah.
I think in 2024, one of the last, doctor appointments I remember going to, my doctor was like, hey, we're getting to the point of like, hey, if next time you come in and you're above this, we're going to have to start thinking of. So that was.
Do you love how they do that? Like,
Yeah.
next time we're gonna have to start. We may need to
Yeah.
it's like, just tell me the truth, what I need.
Yeah. No, my doctor's he's good. He's always been real straight with me. And honestly, when I have my physical, I haven't seen him since July, actually, when I was down about 110 pounds. I saw him, when I last saw him, I told him next time you see me, I'm going to be under 300 pounds. And he was like, I thought the goal was 100 for this year. And I said, well, it's fucking July. I have all this time. I'm giving it the full court press.
Yeah.
And he said, all right, well, and I should say too, doing this, I didn't just do this without, I consulted nutritionists. I had a friend that owns a gym down in Wakefield, a private gym, that helped me with my exercise routines based on where I was at each phase. I didn't just all of a sudden start meal prepping and going to the gym. No, I did not. It was for the gym. I just started showing up at Planet Fitness 2 days a week. Just showing up, walking in and stretching for 15 minutes because that's all I could do. Yeah.
You can start anywhere. I think that's important for people to you don't have just movement. If you're doing
move your
nothing,
body.
any movement is good. play pool. I mean, just some people just don't even get off on their feet. Like, do something that you're at least on your feet moving. I mean,
Start somewhere.
listen to me. I'm as a one of the heaviest breathers on the planet, I remember hearing you breathe.
Oh yeah.
And being like, holy fuck. It's like everything was, you could have done anything and you were burning calories, you were working your cardio.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about this on a recent episode of, Nick talked about he couldn't save money. He started saving a quarter, just a quarter, and then double it, and then double it, and double it. If you could walk 5 minutes, you can do, you know, say you, like in my house, something I've done is I've just walked up and down the stairs a couple times to get started. And it's like, you can start anywhere. It doesn't have to be some grandiose workout plan. Like, and that's
You don't have to follow the
something I was getting to earlier with the unsolicited advice. People are like, have you tried this? Have you tried this? No, I'm doing nothing. I am doing nothing.
Yeah.
There's
Shut up, Masha.
I just need to
Mind
do
your fucking business.
something. And then the other thing you get, which you were just touching on, is like, you know, oh, I thought the goal was only 100 pounds. It's like, why stop? And like you said, you consulted people did make sure you're doing the health. But even if you consult nobody and you just wing it, and if you're the weight that you were, and you like, your every day is dangerous.
Yeah.
So losing weight in what is maybe the unhealthy way to lose the weight or whatever, it's still, you need the fucking weight off.
Yeah.
It needs to come off or you might die. I mean, it is that like, that
I mean,
bad,
whatever you got to do.
because I've started losing weight like really fast, and people are like, are you sure you should be doing that? It's like, yes, I'm 100% sure, because I am at a weight that will kill me. My blood pressure.
Have you weighed my weight? Then shut the fuck up.
When my daughter was born, I went, I think it was right before, maybe right after, but I maxed out at 357 was my heaviest. Man, I'm 5'11", so that's big. And I have the picture of me. I was that weight when my daughter was born. The picture of me holding her at the hospital is fucking hilarious because she looks like it's the smallest. You probably have those.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you look. That's like the best way to see how ridiculously large you are.
Yeah.
But I went to the doctor for I had some shoulder pain. And they always do your vitals no matter what. When you go to the doctor, right? And my doctor comes. After the blood pressure, the medical assistant kind of scurried off quickly, and then the doctor came in so fast. And I was like, "This is weird," because normally you get the vitals and you sit there for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, 17 minutes goes by.
Yeah. And my doctor comes ready. She's like, okay, not talking about your shoulder today. I don't give a fuck if your arm falls off. We need to get your blood pressure in line because you have the blood pressure of somebody who is, I think she said, you know this better than me from your paramedic days.
Yeah.
Or EMT. But she goes, you have the blood pressure of somebody actively having a stroke.
Yep.
That's the stroke is the one.
Yep. Having a stroke. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, it was, I believe 210.
Yep.
Over like 120 or something.
Yeah, it's systolic and the diastolic.
I don't know if I remember it was in the
210
twos.
over that. Yeah, that's
the top number was
concerning.
in the twos. Yeah,
that's concerning.
And she's like, I can't even let you leave right now. But you shouldn't be driving a car like this. We need to. You need to sit here. No,
most places would.
She monitored me and she was prescribed me lisinopril immediately. And I've been on it ever since. I got off of it once because I ran in 2019. I ran Manchester Marathon. I got down to 240-ish pounds again. I'm 230-ish now. I got 90 pounds since 2019. Crazy. Yeah. But yeah, she she was like, you just say she sat there. She kept taking the blood pressure over and over. I got down. You know, I've always had this, like, my blood pressure is always higher when I'm at the doctor's office. Yep. I don't know if it's like
white coat syndrome.
I don't trust the medical industry at all.
I don't like the machines. The manual ones are the way to go when they physically do it. The machines, if they're not calibrated, if the cuff is too...
they always do the manual one, and they go to. I have the little. Finally, my back fat's hanging out on the fat episode, and you tell me to get the fat out.
Showing a little love handling.
But I think you pretty much you set up the camera so that it's not showing my back fat today either way. I think. I don't know.
A little more to
risk it, you know?
Why
I'm gonna
risk-
keep working.
Yeah, I have the little blood pressure. I have now that I'm trying to work my way down again. There's a little seamstress's ruler there, so I can measure. I'm down an inch on my belly since Christmas, which is just bloat, like just sheer. I just
Water
stuffed
weight
myself.
bloat.
Yeah. But and then I have the little blood pressure machine there.
Yep.
I'm a little high, but not anywhere near the 200s.
Yeah.
But I did double my. This is a really sad episode.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's just I'm just thinking of the viewers.
this
Like,
helps
listen
people,
to these
though,
fat fucks. No,
That's the
well,
goal of it all.
here's the thing. Yeah,
I don't want to
no.
be sitting in silence. You're not
Here's
alone.
the
You're not alone.
talking about all of this is like I think there's a lot of people who are probably ashamed to even approach this. And us sitting here and going, hey, here's all the problems we had. Here's all the fat fuck shit we've dealt with.
People are resonating. I know they will.
It might go, okay, and laughing about it a little bit too is like, we laugh, we cry, you know, it's
All the emotions.
That's life, right? But it's like, I think it's good for people to kind of hear, because if you're sitting there like, I don't know where to start, I don't even want to talk about it, I don't want to approach this, because what I'll do is I'll just pretend it's not an issue.
Avoidance. Yeah.
Just pretend, avoidance. That is the technical. You have been in therapy, but yeah, no, it's like I think there's probably a lot of people who do that. And if you're hearing this and you're going, and even if it's just like anything you want to fix too, it's like just approach it. You're not the only person that's gone through any of it. Anything like somebody is. Very few. I mean, I guess there was a first COVID patient. Like, there's a first everything, right? But for the most part, anything that you're going to go through, somebody's already been through it. Somebody's solved the problem. Somebody's figured out the solution. Somebody's gotten through the other side better. And like, just don't be embarrassed. Reach out for the help you need. I said, I don't know. The one piece of advice I can't give people is how to stay healthy, but I can tell you how to lose weight.
That's the
reach
discipline
out.
part of it.
And I'm sure Anthony would be happy to help anybody too. I mean, you'll find the episode will have his Instagram handle. Slide in his
Instagram,
DMs,
Facebook. Yeah,
don't send him any dick pics. He already sent me one today. It was.
I had to send that. I saw that, and I literally.
He goes, you need any pictures for the episode? And he sent me a guitar pic that said "dick" on it. It was a dick. It was a dick pic.
Yeah.
I had never seen that. It's funny. Like most shit that people send, it's like, yeah, I've seen that before. I've seen some version of that. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
I mean, I've shared some pretty.
I'm like,
raunchy stuff with you.
that's a pretty obvious joke, and I've never seen that joke made. Strange.
That is appropriate for here. So
Yes, it's always appropriate to send me dick pics. Don't ever be shy.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah, please don't.
Cut that. No. Don't send me dick pics, please. Don't send me titties either.
Yeah, don't do that.
Absolutely don't
That's a no.
send me any tits.
Knock it off. Don't.
Especially my wife. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've gone on and on. 45 minutes already of
Wow. Okay.
See, I told you it was no big deal.
No big deal.
A fat fuck conversation, and touching on how you get there, why trauma, and another thing that you brought up, before I move on to kind of the next phase. You mentioned in therapy of like you thought a lot of your trauma came from being an EMT, working on the ambulance, and you've talked to me about that a lot, and I concur. Like I couldn't handle that shit at all. Like that would fuck me up. I've approached. I've never been formally diagnosed, but I've approached with therapists and psychiatrists, like PTSD diagnosis for certain things that have happened in my life, and without a doubt, I would have it from doing that job.
Yeah,
for sure. But you also said you realized that it wasn't just that; it was things prior, and I think that's I've talked to a lot of people that don't think therapy does anything, and I think that is one of the biggest benefits that I've experienced in therapy is realizing, because we all think we know what's going on, we think we know what our problems are, we think that we're like, okay, this is the issue, and if I could just get past this, I'll be okay.
Yep.
But in therapy, they're very good at peeling back the onion and taking you, and you'll, by talking, and I've even done it from doing this podcast, just by talking, is you'll start peeling back things, and you'll have realizations. And I've done it.
Epiphanies.
I've done it
Memories
while I'm
popping
on
back
camera,
up.
where I had to go, oh fuck, like keep that in your head for later.
Put that in the bank and visit later.
Yeah, where it's like so it's like get in therapy. That's all I'm getting at. It is important. But what I wanted to move on to is like, okay, you did start with, the 15 minutes in the gym or whatever it was,
Yeah.
5 minutes walking, some stretching,
Yeah.
whatever it was. You started very, obviously that didn't take you all the way to this point. What kind of things what does your diet look like? What does your exercise look like now that you are feeling good and able to do a lot more?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely, as far as the exercising goes, I back in early November, it was probably at the end of October, I was getting just stale with going to Planet Fitness and doing the same old routines. And it's not to knock them. I think I just
I'll knock Planet
graduated.
Fitness.
Yeah, you can knock them.
Here's my problem with Planet Fitness. We'll get to this first. The judgment-free zone,
Oh yeah,
but that's a lie because they judge people that are high-level athletes. They're judgmental against
great point.
going to that high level. They're, don't drop the weights.
The lung
Listen,
alarm.
if you can deadlift 800 pounds, you ain't putting that down gently. It's gonna make some noise.
Physically impossible.
You know what I mean? It's if you're, I saw them kick somebody out because he was in cowboy boots. It's like, who gives a fuck? They were clean. Like it's like, the judgment free zone is a little bit of a lie. I think the lunk alarm too. That's as judgy as it can be. Oh wow, you're strong. Fuck you. Like that's what they're saying.
Jeez, if you rip a loud enough fart, that thing will go off.
Yeah, and it's like it's like I like, even at my worst, and I know not everybody's this way, and everybody's got to find their own place, and I understand that. But even at my worst, I liked being around people that were high level. Like I walked into an MMA gym at 280 pounds, was completely sedentary when I was 25 or whatever, and there were pro fighters that were punching me in the face. If that ain't a wake up call, what? But I guess I'm different. Everybody has a different. But it's like I like having the. Anyway, So you got sick of Planet Fitness.
So I got sick of Planet Fitness. Things are going stale, and I'm like, at that time, I was like, no, you're not gonna stop going. Like I was going to the gym at that point, every 2 days, and I'm like, no, this isn't good. We need to try. So I was like, I remember when for my short time that I worked at Catholic Medical Center as a paramedic in their emergency room for a couple of years before I went full-time in real estate before the COVID shutdown. I remember a bunch of the doctors and nurses talking about it, as group exercises. But I was like, yeah, that's way too out of my realm. But, when I was like, well, Anthony, you've lost a lot of weight. Why not give it a try? So they had a free class. I inquired online, filled out the form, put a card on file in case you didn't show. They would charge you for not showing. But I remember walking through the front, and I remember walking through the front door, and I was almost going to do an about face and leave because I could see everybody running on treadmills, and I haven't run in 10 plus years. And I was like, I'm in over my head because I was still thinking I was Anthony from 2024. I still had that body dysmorph, that image. I know I'm not, but I remember the trainer that was there that day. Her name was, I'll keep her name anonymous for right now, but she literally, I opened the front door, and as I was about ready to turn around, she goes, "Are you Anthony?" And I was like, "Fuck! Yes, actually." I said that internally, but I was like, "Fuck. Yeah, yes, I am." She goes, "Oh my God, we're so happy to have you." And I was like, "Oh, I can't fucking leave now." And then it just, once the class was going on was done, she took me around and she's like, "Listen, we're meeting you where you're at. There's no expectations for you to be going full throttle." So it was great. And at the end of that class, it was just, I found a nice community, and it's what I needed. I needed that. And I love going. I go 3 to 4 days a week pretty consistently. I love the fact that the trainers there have the workouts for the day, whether you're doing the floor, the row, or the treadmill, or, if you can't do treadmill, they have some bikes and ellipticals. So they really do meet you where you're at. If I had walked in where I was when I first started, I would have failed miserably. So for me, I had to start with the baby steps that I did at Planet Fitness.
But even if you had, I think you would have been okay with that group because, at least in my experience, because I've done MMA, I did the Reach the Beach relay running race.
Oh, wow.
I did I trained swimming, and I did the short version of Swim with a Mission, the charity race up on Newfound Lake. But I trained with like triathletes and like even a Navy SEAL one time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like all these. I've done a bunch of different group fitness things, MMA, jiu-jitsu, and I've entered all of these as the most out of shape person.
Mm-hmm.
And all I've ever gotten was love from all those people.
Oh.
I've never felt like, I've always felt like they wanted to support me more than they support each other. I remember I actually had them had a guy it's probably been 10 episodes ago, but this guy Josh, he's on the board for Swim of the Mission, and he was one of
I remember that one.
So when I started swimming, so I ran the Manchester Marathon 2019, completed a whole 26.2 marathon, and then I was like, I want to do an Ironman. So I'm like, but distance swim. I've always been a decent swimmer. I grew up in a town with a bunch of lakes. But yeah, swimming, it's 1.2, I believe.
Whatever it is.
Of open water.
Yeah, that's
too,
scary.
which is a whole
It can
different.
be scary.
Yeah, it's a whole different. The mindset. It can be choppy. It's cold. It's and like in a race environment. This is the thing I didn't realize. In an open water race environment, you're getting kicked in the face, splash. You can't see shit. Like until the swimmers kind of separate a little bit. It sucks to start it. I just stopped when I started. Like I was like, what the fuck? I got kicked in the face. I couldn't see anything. The water was way colder on Newfoundland Lake than I ever dreamed because it was like July. I'm like, the water shouldn't be this cold. I found out later it's a cold spring fed lake. And I think everybody at the starting line's in wetsuits. I'm like, what the fuck is with these pussies? Wetsuits?
Yep. Oh,
and then I was like,
they're
freezing.
experienced.
Yeah, I had to.
They know what
I had to
they're
tread
doing.
water till I warmed up. Anyway, I let everybody go ahead of me. But anyways, this group, I ended up training with some of the board members, and like all these guys are triathletes. And this dude Josh, who I had on my podcast, he was promoting a benefit for Chad. But he was like yelling at everybody, like swearing, like talking shit about them going slow, like pick up the pace, like I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this dickhead? And then like one day he wasn't like the main guy, but one day the main guy was gone, so he was running it. And after he's like, hey man, you did a really good job. And I'm like, where's this energy with everybody else? But he's like, he knows they're all kind of high level athletes and they can take it. It's like they have this relationship. It's like that's always the experience I've gotten, and like
it's been my experience.
I remember when I lost 100 pounds and did my pro MMA fight. I had one of the fighters who was a top level athlete, like undefeated boxer in the Navy. He was like 4 or 5-0 in MMA, and like that dude, like honestly, it wasn't my guy. I was not into this guy's personality at all. But even he was like, hey man, great job. I never want to see you back where you were before. Like, please stick with it because you did a great job and shouldn't lose. Like everybody's always been support. I did that relay race. I was the slowest guy. Nobody gave a shit. Yeah. They're like, we're not trying to win. I go mountain biking with some good friends of mine one time, and they're like, go as slow as you want. We're not competing to see who's the best at exercising. Yeah. We're just riding bikes. Don't worry about it. And so it's like, don't be another lesson of this is don't be intimidated. Go do the thing. Nobody cares. Nobody's judging you. Nobody gives a fuck. If they are, it goes back to that negative commenter thing where they're probably in more pain than you are,
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you like my experience, especially like at Orange Theory. I'm in competition against myself, and it's really nice when you're doing the floor routines or the tread routines, because when you're getting
floor routines, like you're doing like
like lifting weights, plyometrics. But no,
my daughter does gymnastics.
No ribbon dancing.
I hear floor routine, and I'm thinking back handspring, like
No. When we're on the floor doing weights, plyometrics, the TRX straps, things like that.
No, I knew you weren't doing gymnastics. Maybe someday.
Maybe that'll.
I want to see you on the uneven bars. A little balance beam action.
Nobody wants to see that. Maybe
in
next
a
time
nice
I
little
come in, I'll be in a
leotard.
yeah, I was gonna say I'll
Yeah.
come in with the spandex or something like that.
You could be full Richard Simmons in here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I found it very, very welcoming. Everybody's happy. Everybody's there, wants to be there, and everybody's just so welcoming no matter where you're at. And, I just, every time I go there, yeah, there's some times I go there, I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? But the second I'm in there and start, I don't regret. And then honestly, you never regret a workout that you complete.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been posting what I've been posting the last couple
honestly,
of months. It's just
even
just
one that you don't
keeps
complete.
me accountable too. Like, hey, I'm still doing this.
Yeah. But even one that you don't complete,
Yeah.
too, it's like, okay, well, you set out to do a 30-minute walk.
Yeah.
You did 15. You still did something. My good
Plenty of
friend,
days
my good friend Jeremy,
that.
I used to mountain bike with. He tell me all the time. He said, "You're still going faster than the guy on the couch. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You're going faster than the guy on the couch." That's something that's stuck with me. Like I've told him again and again. That's one of the most important things when I'm trying to be healthy. Is that him saying that? It's like whatever. It's something.
There were some days, Alex, especially like early on with everything, trying to juggle everything.
Yeah,
some
because
days
you
they were
try
really
to fix
hard.
everything and you try to do everything high level, right?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
some days it just break you. But I just remember I had this whole mentality of keep going and then like just try to be 1% better every day, just 1%.
Yeah.
And also realizing like you're not going to give it 100% every day. Sometimes your very best is 30%. The next day it might be 70. But there were days where I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Those are the days where you need to.
Yeah.
And sometimes, Alex, all I could muster was just driving myself to Planet Fitness and just go in and stretch. And this is even when I was down 100 pounds, 120, just showing up and giving that respect to myself. Because that's the
Stretching's
discipline.
important, man.
It is.
That's like one thing that
It
I
is.
think the probably biggest neglect, especially men our age. It's like because you're like, oh, I don't have time for the stretching. It's like
And
just
you
do
bend over
do the
wrong
stretching
way, and
instead.
Now you're laid up for a week because you didn't.
Yeah, right.
But
and you
but-
can't do the shit that you would need to
But
do.
me just showing up again, even halfway through my journey or like halfway through it, like showing up was better than not showing up at all. And that's where the growth is. I've been like some people, I've had a lot of people reach out to me for a lot of reasons. Just, because a lot of the stuff I've been preaching on my Facebook page about, being kind to people, your kind gesture just to a random stranger who could mean the world to them like it was to me having that cup of coffee. Yeah. Like that, we really in our world don't know the battles people are fighting, and just being kind, having that extra patience. But having I've had some people ask me, well, what's the secret sauce? Honestly, the secret sauce is it's been discipline plus consistency over time. Discipline, because motivation's gonna go away, but just show up for yourself. That's it. Show up. Just drive yourself to the gym parking lot is better than you not showing, than you just staying home.
Well, and
that's progress.
There really is.
That to me, that's progress.
There really is no secret. We've seen. I mean, I remember working at Burger King when I was in high school, and a guy came in and he said, "I want a Whopper, a double Whopper, no buns," and we were all like, "The fuck is this guy?" He's like, "I'm on the Atkins diet." And then there's been Atkins and paleo and regular low carb and keto and intermittent fasting. And it's like any of it can work. What are you going to stick with?
Yeah.
Try
something. Don't be afraid to try. If it doesn't work, try something else.
But when people say, what's the secret? How do you do it? It's like, I moved more. I ate less. Like at the end of the day, that's all. It's I move more, eat less. And you're going more calories used than calories eaten. It's that really that simple. All of those things are all different versions of that.
If you 3,500 calories is equals to about a pound of fat. So like if you just reduce your caloric intake by 500 calories a day.
Did you ever look at the top of your weight what you were eating for calories?
I was probably doing over 6,000 calories easily. It probably could have been more than that. It was probably more than that, but I was like, all right, well, once I started doing everything and I started putting it all together with eating better and cutting things out slowly.
Yeah,
slowly.
What I found to work, and I don't again. Don't listen to me because I can't sustain this shit. But what I've always found to work is instead of cutting stuff out, don't think I'm going to cut. I'm going to add this in. So lately, like I've been berries. I never eat fruit. So I'm going to eat fruit. But that fruit is replacing like the bag of chips.
Yeah.
But like I'm not framing it that way in my mind. I'm saying I'm adding fruit. I'm not cutting out the chips. I'm just adding fruit.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like the time that I'm eating the fruit, I'm not eating the chips.
Yeah,
so what does your diet look like now?
Yeah, so I mean, typical morning, you know, I can have, you know, 3 or 4 eggs with, you know, I'll add a little bit of egg whites, a little salt and pepper, you know, a little bit of seasoning, not too crazy. Big thing is hydration, water. I drink about 3 to 4 liters. In the summer, warmer months, it's been 4 to 5 liters, and I worked my way up to that. I didn't just start drinking that much. Like it took several months to get to doing that. But right now, the winter, I'm not as thirsty, not sweating as much outside of the gym when I go. So I drink about 3 to 4 liters. It keeps me full, keeps me hydrated. Hydration is very important. Yeah, so I'll have that in the morning. Lunch could be like a protein shake, and you know, throughout the day, if I'm snacking, I try to find, you know, high protein, you know, just healthy things. I'm not going for the potato chips. I'm not stopping at. If I do have to stop somewhere, like, all right, well, I know what I can get. Like, I know what I can get at a Pressed Cafe and not feel guilty. I know, you know, I've tracking my ins and outs, my numbers. Using AI was a game changer, so I could physically keep logs and see things. So, like, I'm not really tracking as much as I used to anymore because I know.
Yeah.
If I have 2 cans of tuna, the specific type of tuna, that's 60 grams of protein. It's 100 and, you know, it's 210 calories. It's this much sodium. So I have my routine down. I mix things up and you know, I plan every 10 or 12 days, like one meal where I can just have whatever I want. Now it's not gorging myself, but if I want to have a small frozen cheese pizza from Whole Foods, I can do that guilt-free. The rest of the day I eat clean, I eat how I normally do, and I have that. I scratch that itch. I'm not having pizza 3-4 times a week like I used to. Like, yeah, just, you know, and two, like, don't deprive
stopping somewhere, you can go, even a gas station, even Irving, whatever.
You can find something that's
beef jerky, nuts.
Got to be careful with the sodium, but yes, in the grand scheme of things, it's better than.
Listen, if I'm getting healthy, I'm sweating out so much sodium anyways. Probably.
Yeah.
But for different people, different needs. But yeah,
correct.
They still have low sodium ones too.
Yes, they do.
I just saw that the other day. I was just at last night. I saw hard boiled eggs. Like, gross. I don't want to eat the gas station hard boiled eggs.
Like people eating sushi from there. Like, oh, how could you do that?
You know, where do they have gas station sushi? I always hear
them
this
down in Florida, a couple places.
South Willow Street. It's good.
If anybody eats gas station sushi, it's Nick for sure. I was in Hawaii over summer, and they have sushi in all the 7-Elevens. In Musabi, and
I would probably do it there because it's Hawaii.
It still wasn't good.
Still wasn't good. Okay, all right.
Yeah, still go to a good place. It's still 7-Eleven.
I mean, I'm not getting sushi.
I get Market Basket. I get Market Basket sushi.
Well, yeah, because I think they have somebody from, I know in Epping, the Market Basket. I used to see local.
There are Asian people behind the counter.
Well, I used to see.
I don't know if that makes it authentic though.
Well, the guy, I remember the Market Basket when I lived in Epping. There was a guy that used to work at the local Chinese Japanese place in Epping. And he worked there in the mornings, and he would be like, all right, that's going to be some good shit. Yeah. That's going to be some good.
Sushi boils down to the quality, really, too.
Quality of
the quality of the food.
From what I know.
I think the construction of it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's getting good pieces of fish for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where we? Oh, so I also want. So you did this. No surgery, no drugs, right?
Yeah. So, when I first,
because I know that's a big. Everybody think as soon as anybody loses weight nowadays, somebody thinks. And I'm not knocking either of those things, but it's just a question.
And then you have the peanut gallery who are, you couldn't do it without, like, first of all, if somebody's trying to get healthy, fuck you, mind your business.
Yeah.
So, like, when I started back in like August, I went to I think I said like I went to the CMC weight management, and they were like talking surgery, they were talking meds. I did early on, before December of 24, I did go on one of the injectable meds, but I didn't have the right mindset. I was still eating. I was eating less, but I was eating the same shit. I lost maybe 15 pounds over a couple months, but then there were shortages, and then my insurance stopped covering it. And I was like, well, I'm not paying $1,600 a month to just have 4 injections, or whatever the heck it was. So there was that.
You can
part
get
of
it
it
very cheap online now. But.
So I mean, those meds, I guess, do work. I definitely was eating less, but I was still eating the same shit. Like you can have a surgery, you can have the meds, but if you're not changing the lifestyle, and the lifestyle isn't just eating healthy, going to the gym, you got to do some soul searching. Like when I tell people like my journey as a whole, I have had to face the man in the mirror, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I've had to take accountability. I've had to acknowledge, and it was not hard. Alex, there's not a day in 2025 that I did not have where I did not cry at some point for one reason or another. And
I'm with you, man.
And truth be told, the last few weeks of December, a lot of my tears were tears of pride and joy because I'm just so damn proud of myself. I am, and I'm not saying it to be vain. I'm not saying it to.
There's nothing wrong with being
I'm just
proud of
myself.
That's another thing that we've been wired incorrectly. You should be proud of yourself.
I am.
I know, and you are a religious man as well. And they talk about
I found
pride.
my way back.
They talk about pride being a sin in the Bible, but like not. It's a different, like, I think people took that out of context. It's okay to be proud of yourself and your accomplishments.
You can be proud and not be,
But it's also like, I think like some people are unwarrantedly, what's the word? Undeservingly proud. You know what I mean? Being proud of things that you shouldn't be proud of, or being proud when you haven't actually, you're not being the thing that you were proud of. There's different kinds there.
Yeah, of course.
But I think with it in general, people have like celebrating your wins and like
should
you're bragging. It's like, yeah, I am fucking bragging.
Yeah.
I did something good.
Yeah.
Like what? There's nothing wrong with that. We should all do it. We should all
celebrate,
and we should
the
clap.
victories.
We should clap when our friends are bragging. We should clap when our friends are winning.
We should support each other like that. That's why, like,
or not even friends, strangers too.
Well, exactly. That's why, like, especially the last couple of months, it wasn't just because of the holidays. Like, I was preaching, just be kind, do a kind deed, smile at someone, hold the door, just do something. Like, in just,
are you listening, Nick?
Just do something, Nick.
Piece of shit.
Dick.
One of the nicest.
I was just saying, the vibe I get, he's actually a really cool, nice person. But yeah,
I think one of our regular disagreements is when I am being negative about cooperating with other people is a regular thing with us. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I do love my own purposes, the lore of me being a huge asshole off camera though. That would be nice to spread around. So
Chevy Chase. It's Chevy Chase.
No, because Chevy Chase was an asshole on camera too.
Yeah,
he was always kind of he was a cunt all the time. That was like his whole character.
I love it.
That was like his whole bit. That's why I think it's so funny when he does it. Because it's like his bit. That's like what he's known for.
Yeah. I mean, isn't there a point where like you just are allowed to?
Yeah, I think so.
If you make me laugh enough, you can be a dick too.
I mean, Clark in all the vacation movies was always a dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
A dickhead or just obtuse?
That's a good
inadvertently dickhead.
No, he was always kind of like petty, kind of like when they.
He was a dildo. We can just say it.
Yeah, but he was always trying to make things good for the family.
For the family, dad. But to other people.
Yeah, fuck other people. He's got 3 kids.
Like when
2 kids? Just 2 kids.
Like when the neighbors come home in Christmas vacation and they're like they don't want to decorate for Christmas and they're like, "Oh, look, he's at it again." And he comes out with the chainsaw and then he flips them off and starts it.
Yeah, but they're being pessimistic about the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
I didn't even get the tune right on that.
I don't know. I just feel like that was always his character. So I just feel like that was the bit.
I think Clark Griswold's a great guy. Good family man. just fun loving.
Relatable. He's relatable to many people.
I mean, just wants the best for everybody all the time. I felt like
everybody's got that.
He's got
neighbor,
love to give. He's
uncle,
trying to
or
cheat on his wife
friend.
right in front of her.
Had his boss kidnapped. Yeah, hitting on that girl at
Boss
the
kidnapped.
Yeah, the end in Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah, Christmas Vacation is not one I've watched a lot.
That's my. That was used to be
The
our
original
Christmas movie.
European.
Wally World or something.
Yeah,
Is
the
it
originals
that?
go to
The
Wally
original's
World.
a really good one.
Have you seen the Ed Helms remake? It's not really a remake. He's Rusty, but he goes on a road trip. Just like it was okay. I saw it in theaters, but
There was one really good scene when he talks about rimming at the hot tub, and he's like,
Good Lord.
"You're not gonna give your dad a rim job before you go." to
oh
bed?"
yeah, because he didn't know what a rim
Yeah,
job
that was my
right?
one. That was the
Yeah.
one time when I was like, "That's actually really good."
Yeah. No, there was some like I mean, it was just a nostalgia piece for me. I think it came out at the same time as the NWA movie. And I remember like going to theaters with a friend. Like we ended up going to see both, but it was like a debate which one we were going to see.
Right.
I can't remember which one we saw first, but yeah, we're getting towards the end here. So long, I guess let's wrap this up.
Sure.
Where do you see this as a long term? How do you sustain this? This is an answer for myself, but it's for everybody. But what is it that's going to keep you on this same path? And no offense, but you still got some more to lose. We're about the same size now.
About 11 pounds. About 11 pounds more to go to get to where the end goal. The end
Okay.
goal. The original end goal. And I may change that up once I reach that and
Yeah.
want to do other things, but I'll decide that in that moment.
But how do you not go back to your old ways? How do you make this your lifestyle from now until I always say around 70 we should just stop giving a fuck anyway. Like 70 years old I'm gonna like smoke crack. Like I don't
Stop blowing line. Go
Yeah.
skiing off the dashboard every day.
right. I'm gonna get back into drinking. No, but in all seriousness, how do you maintain for the rest of your time?
Why would I ever want to go? I look at the old photos. Why would I ever want to go back to that? Why would I ever? Look how far I've come.
Yeah.
I love the man that I see today, and I even love the old Anthony. Like I've found a way to make peace because, the Anthony from when I started and going, the Anthony from childhood to adolescence, my late teens, early 20s, he had some. There's a lot of things he didn't know, and I've been able to address those things. I've been able to call them out. And I've been able to give myself some forgiveness and some grace with it because I didn't know what I know now. So I used to say, I remember saying in therapy, that Anthony's dead. That Anthony's dead. He's still here.
Yeah.
Anthony's here.
He's part of you.
He's part of me, and he deserves to be loved. When those moments come back, why are they here? I try to acknowledge them and just, hey, like, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I can't go back. If I go back, I can't go back to that darkness. I can't go back to that. I love living in the light. I love this. I really do. I mean that. It's, that's why I'm happy to share my story, at least what I can today. There's so many people, Alex, so many people, former paramedics that I worked with in the fire, police, and EMS, first responders that I've known, that I worked alongside, that have taken their lives. They suffered in silence. Many of them did. And no matter what career or what your life is, you don't have to suffer in silence. Literally, you're not alone. You're not alone. And I've had probably 15 people. I've had a few more since one of my most recent posts about it, because I've had a lot of people, why are you sharing all this? If you don't like it, unfriend me, unfollow me. Fuck yourself. But it's not for likes. It's not for attention. It's not for attaboys. It's me sharing a part of myself because I know
it's also okay to get attention.
Well, yeah. I mean,
We put
I
stigma
like
on all these terms, but it's like, get attention. You have a good story to tell. Get your attention.
and I just want my story. If there's someone thinking that they're alone, if they whatever it is, they're not alone. No. You're not alone.
Nope. And I've had, as somebody that's pretty much, my earliest memories of wanting to kill myself, my age was a single digit number. And I've dealt with depression and anxiety and all these things that are what drive people to take their own lives. Reach out. I'll talk to you. Yeah. I think Anthony probably feels the same way. I know I've talked about this with Nick too a million times. He's been there for a lot of people. Nick's a very comforting person to talk to. And if all else fails, you don't feel like you can reach out to somebody you know, and I've done this as well. Suicide hotline's 988. You can text it even.
Yep.
And I've done that. I've texted it. And it's, I gotta tell you, it wasn't the most helpful. Get yourself to a therapist that's, but it got me through that moment. It sucks to end on this note. What do we, but hey, we're all still here, right?
We are.
We're all still here. You're here if you're listening to this. And trust me, there's people, my friend Austin, I just saw the clip the other day, sings in a band called Haywire, and he was talking about it at one of their shows on stage, and I just saw it on TikTok. I was there, but he's talking about, there's so many people in this room that would rather listen to you now than go to your memorial. So reach out.
And one thing that I will say too is, if you are going to be that person doing something kind and, hey, are you okay, checking in, don't do it if you're not willing to let them talk for a half hour or an hour. Yeah. Don't just, oh, hey, don't, if you cannot, don't do that to someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't definitely cut somebody off. Yeah.
Don't. Anyways.
And I will say, there are moments in my life where I couldn't have handled somebody else's, but it's like, get them to a position because where they'll,
sometimes people just want to be listened to.
Yeah, but get them to somewhere else. Make sure that they're, they're not left. Don't leave them alone. I guess
don't leave them alone. Call a friend. Story. Call somebody to go check on them. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just curious, just so we can end on a little bit of a happier note.
Yeah, please.
Are there any parts of being, a fat guy that you hope to someday get back to? You know what I mean? Like, I think about there's just a lot of joy outside of the food portion of going to a drive-through that I just love.
Hold on, what?
What?
What is the joy besides
I don't know.
I
feel like we've talked about it before. There's something about McDonald's that just is such a piece of nostalgia.
Yeah.
That is more than just the food.
I feel like you and I haven't broken that, and Anthony has.
So,
but do you ever think oh, you know what? I would just like to have a milkshake and not think about it.
Fuck yeah. I mean, there's days where I'm like, I want to go hammer a couple of double quarter pounders with bacon and cheese and, a couple McChickens. But I also remind myself that, I haven't had that type of drive-through fast food. I hadn't had one since, I think I had a McChicken sandwich back in June, and it fucked up my insides for 3 days. I felt lethargic. I felt so off, and that was no. I would rather go to an actual restaurant and.
I think what you're saying.
If I'm gonna have a double cheeseburger, I'd rather go to the Thirsty Moose and get a burger that way than that route. And
I think what you're saying though is trying to talk to a drug addict. It's just oh, I'm just gonna do one line of coke.
Yeah, I remember
reading a post by somebody I know who had a heroin problem back before fentanyl was around. And it was talking about recovery, and they said, yeah, I could boot a bag at a party every once in a while. First of all, I never heard the term boot a bag. But I was like, no, you can't just do
Well, to me, it's more do you ever
feel like with food is I can't just do it casually or I'm right back in.
But do you ever feel like a lot of times drug users will talk about how like they had a lot of friends that they used to have, they had to stop hanging out with them, and then there's like a time when they can go back and hang out with them. It doesn't affect them anymore. Is there anything like even just going to like a buffet or something that like you would like to do but you don't feel like you could?
All buffets are gross.
You know what I mean?
We went to
Buffets
the
are gross,
Manchester.
yeah.
We can talk about it now because
Manchester
it's gone.
buffet is fucking
Manchester
nightmare.
buffet.
Oh man, I was like, COVID did like ruin the buffet industry in general, but it was the only
Paul
one
Paul Lassard wanted to go because it was a memory with his brother,
nostalgia,
and he's like, this place sucks.
That place-
It was out of business like 3 months later.
I went to that place so much because we used to go there after
like
shows all the time.
$10. You could sit there for 2 hours and they wouldn't bother you.
Yeah, when you were poor.
Yeah.
Or when I was poor.
I mean, I guess so. I'm not bothered. But I can be around food. I can go to a restaurant. For me, it's like, oh yeah, I remember what that tastes like. Or like if I am going, like say if we were all like going to like a sub shop, I can get a chicken parm sub. I'll get a small and have half. I don't have to crush the whole thing. I eat half. I get my.
Yeah, I think the answer to being to enjoying fat guy things is moderation.
Moderation.
Well, that comes down
doesn't have
to
to be every day or every week. I just, if we were going to plan like a buffet, all right, let's plan something for next week. You bet your bippy that the next week until then, I'm going to be very tight with my macros. I'm going to just be very more regiment, make sure that I'm hydrated because I'm going to be taking a lot of sodium and a lot of other calories. But I'm also not going to have 5 or 6 plates like I normally would. I'll make one with protein and some rice. Probably won't get any fried stuff. But I would just pick and choose the better options that are out there.
Get that soft serve ice cream machine with a twist and put the jimmies on it.
Yeah.
And then go over to that other table with the Jello. I love to have the Jello swinging my chocolate
Little whipped
ice
cream on top.
A whipped cream, and then I'll after I finish that dessert plate, I'm still going back for more crab rangoon.
Oh, hell
Sugar
yeah.
cookies that they bought from the day old Shaw's
You get
section of the grocery store.
They have like
You ever
always
go
have
to
that
the-
whole pastry, that whole like pastry thing, and
they
I
all
always
suck.
Frozen
they all
one,
are
'cause
so
they're the
bad.
frozen
And you eat
ones.
them all because you're trying to find the
Yeah.
good one, and they're all bad. You ever go to the one where in Manchester where Texas Roadhouse is now, the one that was next to that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that one.
They
I
had
remember that one.
frog legs.
That was my friend's.
And I was like, are you catching these in the fucking Merrimack? Like, they were so gross.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Buffets are bad.
Buffet King. That was the name of it.
They had a few different names, but yeah.
It's
that
near
was
like
one of them.
the Ford dealership.
Yeah,
right
it was like
now.
tucked away. Do you can really hide your shame
It's
at that one?
that building's still there,
Imperial
right next to
something,
Texas
I think was
Roadhouse.
the name,
It's
Imperial something.
it
right?
changed a few times.
Yeah.
They're all nasty. Buffets are even. We were at Atlantis in the Bahamas, and the buffet I was talking about at the beginning of this podcast. The shrimp cocktail was fantastic. Everything was gross there, though.
Yeah.
It's just a buffet, and that was like a $80 a person buffet.
I heard the buffets in Vegas are good. I've never been to Vegas, but everybody that I talk to that's gone that says
You missed out on an opportunity in Vegas.
Yeah.
There's a restaurant that there's a scale,
Oh, I know that one.
and if you're over 400 pounds, you eat for free.
Yeah, no, I definitely was over that. So definitely was over that. So if you're above like 350 or 370, whatever it was,
Yeah,
some number.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not
It's
that anymore.
it's like one of those drive-on scales that you can understand.
Yeah.
Man, now I feel like that's a goal for me.
I had so many people tell me, "Why are you stopping when you could get to 400?" And fuck you all.
You don't want to tell you that right now. I can tell you that right now. You don't want that.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
doing
having
this,
me.
being vulnerable. We cried together. We laughed together.
That's right.
Hopefully it
I
helped.
didn't shit my pants, so that's good.
Hopefully it helped. You were nervous, and you went
Oh,
to
God,
levels of vulnerability that no one has so far. I don't think on this podcast. I did have somebody that talked about killing a guy. I guess that's pretty vulnerable.
Whoa.
It was an accident, but
Hey, accidents happen.
just go see that viral clip. Keep it going. It's up to like 160,000 views now. No, we won't exploit people's deaths intentionally. I just did. No, but thank you. Genuinely,
Thank you
I
for having me.
appreciate
Thank you for
it.
listening.
And again, I want to just say, if you need help with anything,
Yes.
get the help. Whatever it is that you're
You
trying
are
to
not
fix in your
alone.
life that is a problem.
You are not alone.
Get the help and
Not alone.
reach out. Anyone in this room would be happy to get you on the right direction. Oddly enough, Nick was once a personal trainer, so he can really help you out. I say oddly because look at him. All right.
Guys, yeah.
Peace out.
Alrighty.